Hello, Dr. HG. This is Rick, and this is my discussion on a hot cat on a hot tin roof. I guess at first you asked us to look at some external and internal conflicts amongst some characters in Act 1. And we'll look at Maggie, Brick, Big Daddy, and Big Mama. Of course, Maggie is one of the main characters, dynamic characters, and her obvious external conflicts are with Grouper and May's children at the beginning, those no-neck monsters. She has conflict with Grouper and May that'll become more visible as the play goes on, and then Big Daddy's dying, of course, is something out of her control. Brick not sleeping with her is something that's affecting her life, and something that she mentions in Act 1 is she's always been poor, and I wonder how that plays in later on in the play. Her internal conflicts, she wants to be a mother. That's for sure. She wants to have Brick's child and Big Daddy's approval. She has an unrequited love for Brick. We learn, what she did later. But right now, he's sleeping on the couch. He's not returning any of her love. And she's regretting what she did with Brick's friend Skipper. That's clear. And I thought, one of the interesting little quotes there was Brick had asked her why she's so catty, and she says, "'Cause I'm consumed with envy and eaten up with longing." I guess it's envy for Brick's love, eaten up with longing. Could that be Brick's love? Could it be just for a better life? I don't know. Brick's internal conflicts, of course, are his broken ankle, his dad's dying, his best friend, Skipper, has died. Of course, that's his main conflict. And then his wife, Maggie, has betrayed him and his relationship with Skipper. So these the last two have manifested into his internal conflicts of he's missing his best friend. That's all we know there in Act 1. Of course, that comes clear later. And he's drinking to forget. So while the alcohol is external, he's taking it internal to hear that click in his head where he doesn't have to think about things anymore. And he has a despise for Maggie now inside of him, of what she did to he and Skipper and their relationship, and kind of blows up a little bit at her when he throws a crutch at her a couple times. He says, "One man has one great, good, true thing in his life. One great good thing which is true. I had a friendship with Skipper, and you are naming it dirty." It's the thing that drives the play, really. Big Daddy, I'll touch briefly on these to speed things up. Of course, he's larger-than-life character in here, but he's dying of cancer, and around him his family is jockeying for power. Internal, he really hasn't come to grips with this yet. We know that because he hasn't prepared a will. In Act 1, that's all we know. In Act 2, we find out some other internal conflicts. Big Mama has, her external conflict is Big Daddy's illness, and it's distanced him from her. And her internal conflict is she just loves her golden boy, her little boy, who she doesn't want to grow up or go anywhere. That's pretty clear. Then he has us look at the masculinity in Act 2 for Grouper, Brick, and Big Daddy as concepts and relationships and self-identifications. Gooper, we don't see a lot of him in Act 2. Of course, these are in Act 2. We don't see a lot of him. His presence is always there, not like Big Daddy, but, he's the main cog in this. But he's playing the dutiful son. And we see that he leads the chorus in Happy Birthday with the servants. He's comes into this Act 2 talking with the preacher about boring things that only the preacher could be interested in, memorials and gifts. Of course, that's a hint to the inheritance. He's a good father. I labeled him as that. We don't really know, but he seems to be taking care of the kids. He's a family man. And he has some scruples. Something that Big Daddy tells us later in this act he doesn't give a damn about anymore. Of course, when you're near death, you have different look on things. But he is vying for status, and he's belittling Brick to enhance his own status. Of course, he's the firstborn. This isn't a Fredo situation where, Fredo says, "Hey, I was passed up. I'm smart. I can do things." It's that right of the firstborn is supposed to inherit. But Cooper knows that he's not loved like Brick is. So he's trying to belittle Brick, and he belittles him for disrespecting his mother in the scene. When Big Mama asks Brick to put down his drink, well, he puts it down. He drinks it fast. And then he announces to Big Daddy and to everyone that he's sure that Brick doesn't know, what present he got him. He knows that Maggie got it for him. Big Daddy, I think, is more of a self-made man type. He's the boss. He's that means he's in charge, or man equals authority, especially if he's made his own way. He tells us about that because he left school at 10, worked as a hired field hand. He moved up to overseer, partner, they mentioned a manager, and now he's the owner. And he earns the right to be the boss or to act any way he wants. And Big Mama tells him not to talk this way in Act 2. He says, I'll talk like I want to on my birthday. I don't. It's interesting he used that word. Or any other goddamn day of the year, and anybody here that don't like it knows what they can do. And then I think he, in the second act with his cancer, he's realizing man needs to follow his instincts and not listens to others. He's kind of looking back on how he felt for those 3 years when he thought he had cancer. Yep, I thought I had it. The earth shook under my foot. The sky came down like a black lid of a kettle, and I couldn't breathe. Today, that lid was lifted. I drew my first free breath in how many years? God, 3. Doctors had told him that he doesn't have cancer. He knows. He wants to believe that, but he knows inside his gut. And he knows that a man's wisdom comes with years. And this is told, I only put a little small part there, a very moving part where he's talking about their trips to Europe, and he realizes no matter what you buy, no matter what money you have, a man can't buy back his life when it's finished. That's why he doesn't want Brick to throw his away. Now, Brick, of course, I think is the main character in the play. And I'm going to label him as the idea of, in his mind, he's battling with this idea of a man and the idea of a human being. And maybe society doesn't let men be human beings. And because he's looking for relationships. It doesn't matter what kind of relationship, but he tells the Big Daddy, between their relationship. But this talk is like all the others we've had in our life. It's nowhere. Nowhere. It's painful, Big Daddy. But we've never talked to each other. He just doesn't, he's looking for that relationship. Of course, that's something I'll mention here. Of course, he found with Skipper. But the mendacity is what he feels in a relationship with people. There's nothing true about it. It's false. It's fake. And he's dealing with this idea of love, and it can maybe be more than what the world thinks. And he says, why can't exceptional friendship, real, deep friendship between two men be respected as something clean and decent without being thought of as? And he's dismayed by people's labels for this kind of love, this real, deep friendship. And he blows up there with Big Daddy towards the end of Act 2. Frig May and Cooper, frig all dirty lies and liars. Skipper and me had a clean, true thing between us, practically all our lives. Normal? No, it was too rare to be normal. Any true thing between two people is too rare to be normal. Spelled tube on there. This is a dilemma for Brick. Maybe for a lot of men. Who knows? What is love between two men? Can it be more than just a sexual thing? Will we all be labeled like that? It's sad, but that's the mentality of some people. Now he asked us in the third part to look at Maggie, the other dynamic character. Not to say that I like her. I don't know that she's always does things on the up and up, but I did enjoy her. So I thought that she was overall helpful, very much like and dedicated, very much like Mrs. Elvsted following Loveborg. When Loveborg leaves the house, he's written his book and he's off. He's a big man now. He's got more things to do. Mrs. Elvsted follows him because she's going to dedicate her life to her. And I think that's what Maggie does for Brick. And in that scene, there's Maggie standing behind Brick as they're about to tell Big Mama about the cancer. And he asks, how long are you going to stand behind me? And she says, forever if necessary. I think that was a sincere thing from her. I also thought she was insightful, able to see the larger picture, probably the smartest one in the whole play. And she was like Mrs. Hale in the in the Murder, Small One, Trifles. And how you can see how Mrs. Hale could see how Minnie's life, just from the few evidences, was suffocated, and really she had no life. It was buried by John Wright. And Maggie can see what Big Daddy and Big Mama want, and what they want is a new baby Brick. That's what they want, and that's what's going to make them happy. It's their golden boy who's going down a bad path. His life is over as a football star, and they want a new one. And she can give it to him. And then I think she sees that Brick needs a true relationship where nothing is hidden. She is paying her penance. I guess it's been a while that he's not given her love back, and she's stuck in there. I think she was different, though, from Hedda. Of course, Hedda, I don't know how many people might like her. I didn't particularly care for her. Whereas Hedda was trying to manipulate people's lives to take it away from them, Maggie was trying to give people life. In the last sentence in the play, these beautiful people, what you need is someone to take hold of you gently with love and hand your life back to you like something gold you let go of. And I'm determined to do it. That was not Hedda. She wanted to destroy everyone. And when she couldn't, she destroyed herself. And then, unlike Nora, and first I should say, I'm not like my classmates. A lot of people didn't like Nora. I liked her. I didn't fault her at the end. But I think, at the end of both of these plays, so Nora runs off to change her fortunes, to change the respect she has as a woman. Whereas Maggie is changing her fortunes and things, but she's sticking right in there, and she's going to change other people's opinions about her, not start fresh. She's going to work on those people that have been there. So, anyhow, I ran a little bit long. Hope I made sense. See you later.